What if I told you that the reason you're constantly hungry, tired, and storing fat has very little to do with how many calories you eat? What if the real problem isn't willpower, motivation, or even exercise, but a hormone quietly controlling whether your body stores fat or burns it? Today, we're going to talk about insulin, carbohydrates, and why lowering carbs can completely change the way your body handles hunger and fat loss. If you've ever felt stuck, frustrated, or blamed yourself for not trying hard enough, this video might change how you see weight loss forever. So stay with me. Carbohydrates are the primary macronutrient that drives insulin release. Every time you eat carbs, especially sugar, bread, pasta, rice, or ultra-processed foods, your blood glucose rises and insulin is released to deal with it. Insulin's main job is storage. When insulin is high, your body is in fat storage mode. When insulin is low, your body can access stored fat and burn it for energy. This is why simply eating less often fails. You can be in a calorie deficit and still feel constantly hungry, tired, and stuck if insulin stays elevated. High insulin blocks fat burning and keeps hunger signals loud. Lowering carbohydrates directly lowers insulin, and this is where everything starts to change. There are different carbohydrate thresholds depending on your metabolic health. For many people, reducing carbs below around 100 grams per day already leads to more stable energy, fewer cravings, and better mood. For those with insulin resistance, obesity, or metabolic disease, going below 50 grams per day can dramatically improve insulin sensitivity and shift the body toward fat burning. In some cases, dropping below 20 grams puts the body into nutritional ketosis, where fat becomes the primary fuel source. The key point is this: hunger is not a character flaw. Hunger is a hormonal signal. When insulin comes down, hunger quiets down naturally. You stop thinking about food all day, portions regulate themselves, and fat loss becomes sustainable. You're no longer fighting your body. You're working with your physiology. Protein is one of the most misunderstood nutrients when it comes to fat loss and metabolic health. Yet it is absolutely essential. Your body is built primarily from protein and water, and without enough high-quality protein, you cannot maintain muscle, regulate metabolism, or stay healthy long-term. This is especially important during weight loss, when the risk of losing muscle is high. Animal protein provides the highest biological value, meaning it contains all essential amino acids in the right proportions for human physiology. Foods like meat, fish, eggs, and dairy deliver the building blocks your body actually needs to repair tissues, preserve muscle mass, and support hormones and enzymes. Plant proteins can contribute, but they are generally less complete and less bioavailable. Maintaining muscle is not about aesthetics, it's about metabolism. Muscle is a highly active metabolic tissue packed with insulin receptors. The more muscle you have, the better your body can handle glucose and insulin, which improves metabolic flexibility. Metabolic flexibility means your body can smoothly switch between burning glucose and burning fat, depending on availability and demand. Without enough protein, this flexibility breaks down. A good general protein range is between 1.2 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of target body weight per day. For most people, aiming around 1.6 to 1.8 grams per kilogram works extremely well. If you are physically active, strength training, or trying to build or preserve muscle during fat loss, moving closer to the upper end of that range is beneficial. Another powerful effect of protein is satiety. Protein reduces hunger hormones and increases fullness, making it much easier to eat less without feeling deprived. When protein intake is adequate, fat loss becomes more sustainable, cravings decrease, and your metabolism stays strong instead of slowing down. For decades, fat was blamed as the main cause of weight gain and heart disease. As a result, many people still fear foods like butter, eggs, fatty meat, and full-fat dairy. But this fear is misplaced. Healthy fats, especially animal fats, play a crucial role in fat loss, hormonal balance, and long-term metabolic health. One of the biggest advantages of dietary fat is that it has almost no impact on insulin. Unlike carbohydrates, fats do not significantly raise blood glucose, which means they keep insulin levels low. And as you've already learned, low insulin is a prerequisite for fat burning. When insulin stays elevated, your body is locked in storage mode. When insulin is low, stored body fat becomes accessible. Animal fats, such as those found in meat, eggs, fish, butter, and ghee, are stable, nutrient-dense, and well-suited to human physiology. They provide fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, which are essential for hormone production, immune function, and brain health. Replacing these fats with highly processed vegetable oils often worsens inflammation and metabolic dysfunction rather than improving health. Another key benefit of fat is satiety. Fat slows digestion and sends powerful fullness signals to the brain. Meals rich in protein and fat keep you satisfied for hours, reducing snacking, cravings, and obsessive thoughts about food. This is critical for sustainable fat loss. If you are constantly hungry, no diet will work long-term. Healthy fats also support hormonal balance. Many hormones are made from cholesterol and fatty acids. When fat intake is too low, people often experience fatigue, mood issues, hormonal imbalances, and stalled weight loss. The goal is not to overconsume fat, but to stop fearing it. Use healthy fats strategically to support satiety, stabilize hormones, and make fat loss feel natural, not like a constant battle against hunger. Many people believe that the key to fat loss is exercising more, long cardio sessions, daily intense workouts, and pushing the body to exhaustion. While movement is important, excessive exercise is not the foundation of sustainable fat loss. Metabolic health is, when your metabolism is healthy and insulin levels are low, your body can burn fat even at rest. A low insulin state allows access to stored body fat. When insulin is consistently elevated, due to high carbohydrate intake, frequent snacking, or chronic stress, fat burning is blocked, no matter how much you exercise. This is why many people train hard and still struggle to lose fat. Exercise cannot compensate for poor metabolic signaling. Walking is one of the most powerful and underrated fat-burning tools. It's low stress, accessible to almost everyone, and does not spike cortisol. In a low insulin state, walking encourages lipolysis, the breakdown of fat for energy, without triggering hunger or fatigue. Regular walking also improves insulin sensitivity and supports recovery. Strength training, however, plays a unique role. You don't need daily workouts or long sessions. Even 2 short resistance training sessions per week, around 15 to 20 minutes each, can be highly effective. Muscle is not just for strength or appearance, it is a metabolic organ. Muscle tissue is rich in insulin receptors and acts as a sink for glucose, improving insulin efficiency and metabolic flexibility. More muscle means better blood sugar control, higher resting energy expenditure, and protection against metabolic decline as you age. This is especially important for long-term health, mobility, and independence. The goal is not to punish your body with exercise, but to send the right signals. When nutrition lowers insulin and movement supports muscle, fat loss becomes a natural consequence, not a constant struggle. Fat loss is not just about food and exercise. It is also deeply connected to your psychological environment. Chronic stress is one of the most overlooked drivers of weight gain, and cortisol is the hormone at the center of this process. Cortisol is not inherently bad. In fact, it is essential for survival. It helps you wake up in the morning, mobilizes energy, and prepares your body to handle challenges. The problem arises when cortisol stays elevated for too long. In modern life, stress is no longer short and physical. It is chronic and mental. Work pressure, financial worries, constant notifications, poor sleep, and unresolved relationship conflicts keep cortisol elevated throughout the day. Chronically high cortisol signals your body to release glucose from the liver, which in turn triggers insulin release. Over time, this cortisol-insulin loop promotes insulin resistance, increased fat storage, and stubborn weight gain, especially around the abdomen. This is why some people do everything right with diet and exercise, but still struggle. Their body is in a constant fight-or-flight state, prioritizing survival over fat loss. From a biological perspective, it makes sense. Your body does not want to burn stored energy when it perceives ongoing danger. Managing stress requires conscious lifestyle decisions. Improving sleep quality, setting boundaries at work, and creating supportive relationships are not luxuries. They are metabolic interventions. Regular walks, time outdoors, breathing exercises, and moments of mental disengagement help bring cortisol back to a healthy rhythm. Long-term fat loss requires a long-term mindset. This is not a 30-day challenge or a temporary fix. It is about designing a life that supports metabolic health rather than constantly fighting against it. When stress is managed, hormones normalize, hunger decreases, and fat loss becomes a byproduct of a healthier, more balanced life.